welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole, and I am so glad that you're here with me. This morning, I wanted to take a few minutes to flip through this little cutie. I absolutely love this little journal that I made. It was probably one of the earlier art journals that I ever made, and I love it. I know I just said that, but I really can't think of another way to describe it. I really do love it. I did post a short. So if you saw the short, I asked if you could guess what this was made out of. And if you've seen my journal video all about the different kinds of journals that I've made or used, then you might already know the answer. But for those of you who don't know, I made this out of a magazine spine. Specifically, and I couldn't remember what magazine it was until I started looking through it. And in some places, you can see the text behind. It was it was a like a catalog. Um, I don't even know what kind of catalog it was, but it was some kind of catalog that I would have gotten probably free in the mail. So, in order to make this, what I did was I didn't want it to be the full height of a regular magazine. So I just cut across the top to make it as tall as I wanted it. I did reinforce the spine. So you can see, sorry, it took me a minute to find it. So I did reinforce the center. I just did a quick binding stitch just to reinforce and make sure that it would hold up because it does still have the original staples in it. But I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to fall apart. So, yeah, so I cut it across the top to make it the height that I wanted it, and then I proceeded to tear the pages of the brochure. Each one was a little bit shorter. So the first page is, barely an inch wide. The next one is just slightly longer, and so on and so forth. And then I just embellished each page. I really have absolutely no rhyme or reason. I didn't choose a color pattern. I worked on this all at once, so I kind of flipped back and forth. If I had a piece in front of me and I wanted to use it, but it didn't work on this page, then maybe I would flip over here and use it on this page. I did not work on each page in this journal over the course of time. I created this one journal all at once. And I don't usually work that way, but I really liked it. You can tell that I was not very, very discerning in choosing the materials. This is just a magazine caption. It's all energy. I did really like that as the caption for the full journal. It's all energy felt like a good fit. Some washi tape, some paint, some eyelash thread, music paper. This is a jelly print and a stamp. More music. Actually, I think this is music tissue paper. This was some flowers out of a magazine, and then I just ripped paper that had some metallic green paint, probably a jelly print, to make the stem. This is just like a roll off paper. This is a little cluster attached to this, along with a painted face, some washi tape, some die cuts on top of a jelly print, some little butterfly ephemera. This was a cutout from a children's book. I had used another part of the page and still had these clouds that hadn't been used. So they would have just gone in the garbage. So I used them here. I drew a little flower. Some more tissue paper, some more jelly prints, a cutout heart from book pages, some more magazine words. This was on the same children's book page as the clouds. I tore it out. I liked the idea of using a net to catch the letters. I just thought that was cute. This was just a little scrap that I had laying there, so I taped it in with some washi tape. I thought that it, you know, fit the style of the journal pretty well. This is just a probably a jelly print or like roll off paper. It's got a little tab. This was again from a magazine or something. It had a quote on it from Elizabeth Gilbert. Here's what I want to know. Can we lighten up a little? I thought that was a nice quote. Some tissue paper, some bees and some poppies. This is a piece of tissue paper from like a paint palette that had been covering up the paint palette. Never let yesterday use up today. This is just, oh, I did use some stitching. This was back before my sewing machine decided to give up on me. I was doing a little bit of stitching. Lots of jelly prints in this one. These are some stickers out of one of my sticker books, one of my like planner sticker books. This is some washi tape and some watercolor, I think, on top of probably more tissue paper. Or maybe this was a napkin. It might have been a napkin in the background. Make art. More of that palette paper. This is a book page about botanical elements. This is just a piece of paper from like a paper arts book, I think, with a little tab sewn on. Some more washi tape, some more jelly prints, some stamping. I don't love the detail that I tried to do on that feather, but that's okay. I do like this page. It's got some punchinella at the top. I like the gold detail, and I like how it's rough and off of the edge. Then I've got this Norman Rockwell playing card just stitched onto the page here. More jelly prints, some maps. This one says get out there and it has some dried flowers. These are from my backyard. Some more of that clear tissue paper over top of the original brochure. You can see whatever that was. It cost $99. And a cluster, some little envelope with a tag. This has got some stitching on it and some cheesecloth, it looks like, and some punched out hearts. Stamping mixed media. This is more washi tape along I think this might have been a piece of from a nursery, from like a flower catalog. Oh, you know what? No, I don't think so. I was gonna say maybe the whole brochure was like a flower catalog, but I don't think it was actually. This is just a magazine cutout of a butterfly, some jelly printing in the background, some music paper here, dream big. This is the punch that I used to make these hearts, which is like the outside part of the punch, what's left over. This is a piece of printed vellum, probably from a scrapbook paper. The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do, and I could not agree with that more. It's just over top of a magazine image that's been, I don't know, maybe there's some paint or something on that. It's got kind of an interesting finish. I did leave the edges very raw. I wanted it to be very tile. More jelly printing, more tissue paper, more clusters. This is some of the same paper that we used earlier on one of these pages. just added here as a tag on top of this was a vellum sheet. I find vellum so hard to use, so this was a great way to use it. Yeah, the behind the vellum, there's some kind of a superior something to digital converter. This is another little magazine clip with a little quote in it that I glued in here. Right, like that. Some handwriting, some jelly prints. This is another sticker. I don't love these stickers with the thick white edge on them, but here it is. This page was some handwritten, like a handwritten letter. I stitched the heart and then I think it was probably watercolor around the outside so that the heart in the middle would stay the original bright color. You can see the heart on the back too over the jelly print. This was a jelly plate attempt. I think I was trying to like lift this image off using a jelly plate. It didn't come out super well, but enough to see that it's a face. There's also a fortune cookie fortune on there, some cheesecloth behind it, some lace from the next page hanging off the edge, a little piece of map ephemera, and like start your own revolution. This was years ago, but on this page, I think this was another piece of like scrapbook paper. I cut part of it out. I pasted on the word together and used this paper. Can't think of what this is called, but it's pretty banged up and bent up over the years, but it still gives it some nice texture and tactile, sensory feeling. Another piece of little vellum. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. That is an Oprah Winfrey quote. So I just stitched that in so that it would be loose. And this I remember was the packaging from, was it Jane Davenport or Dina Wakley, the mermaid markers? I think this is what this was from. And I just liked the face. So I just stapled a book page over it with a heart cut out of it so that her eye shows through. And then that whole thing is just stapled on along with some magazine cutouts, some collage. Here's the thing and an edge. The back of it I covered with music paper and this torn out piece from a jelly print. So that's it, folks. Quick little flip through. This was a great journal to work in. I really want to do another one of these. So this could be kind of an upcoming project. Now that I have 5 or 6 years of art journaling experience under my belt, I will probably do some things differently. But I like revisiting some of your earlier stuff just because you get into a habit of doing things a certain way, and over time, I think, I don't know, maybe we lose a little bit of our creativity because we're not experimenting with everything, right? We're kind of sticking with the things that we like. So it's fun to look back on stuff that you did before you really knew what you liked. And sometimes it sparks a new idea, something that you could do that you forgot that you could do. Does that make sense? Anyway, this was a fun flip through. I might make another one of these. I'd love to do that as a series here over on YouTube. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you in the next video.